Hello, everyone. Here is Julia Lopez again in our Speak Up and Lead Talks, the place to be for sexy and savvy conversations. And today, I promise you, you're going to have the best in terms of sexy and savvy conversations because I have with me here my dear friend Olivia Schofield, a Londoner living in Berlin. And I met Olivia a few years ago through Toastmasters when she was paving her path to become a well-known world champion in public speaking. Well, she told me, I was the finalist, Julia. I was not crowned, but for us, she is our queen. And it's my pleasure to have Olivia here today to share with you her path from someone who had problems in speaking to becoming a pro, a champion, and helping others to pave that path, to unleash their voice. Olivia, it's my pleasure, super pleasure to have you here with me today.
I've been wondering how long it's going to take you to invite me. I've been jealous of all those other people that have been invited. At last, it's me getting on your show. So I
had to have you as a Christmas gift to everybody, my darling. So it's very much like a pleasure, surprise to everybody to have you here as well. And I will ask you to share your story to us, because I know a lot of your story, but it's always so inspiring to listen, because it really shows us how you can achieve when you focus on and you're determined and you believe in yourself, and how much others can help you along this path. Can you just tell us where everything started?
Well, it's funny. I mean, everything started really with all the things that go wrong in your life. You could say my life was a whole load of broken pieces of glass. I had tried to be a dancer, which didn't quite work out. So I had a lot of broken bits. I tried to be an actress that didn't quite work out. I tried to go and work in the television area, which kind of worked out a little bit, but I didn't get very far. And it seemed to me that everything I had was sort of like broken bits. And so I thought, how can I go to someone and look for a job and say, hello, do you need an ex-dancer that doesn't dance anymore, or somebody that wasn't good enough to be quite as good as to be an actress? Or do you need somebody that sort of like worked in television but didn't really get to be producer? No, you don't need anyone like that. And I was coming at looking for a job from a completely wrong angle. I just saw all my failings, all the things that I didn't do, rather than all my assets and all the things that I did do. And many people know, but some people don't, that as a child I had a speech impediment. My sister's name was Ruth, but I could only say woof, woof, woof. And I used to say woof for everything. I moved to Berlin, still struggling along to find my way. By this time, married with 2 kids, struggling along. And actually, it was desperation for being lonely, not really speaking much German, being away from home, that led me along the path that took me to Toastmasters. I had no intention of speaking. I didn't know that speaking was a job or anything like that. But I felt lonely and I felt isolated in this foreign country, and I was looking for something. And I went along to Toastmasters and absolutely immediately found my community. And so from the get-go, people came and embraced me and invited me, of course, and were very, very loving to me, and at the time when I needed it. So I always think, I don't know what reason people go to Toastmasters. Mark Hunter, the world champion 2010, once said he went to find a wife. He's still there, still not found a wife yet. I went to find community. We all go for different reasons, but what I did find was something much more than I expected. Because of all the broken pieces, I had a lot of pain and hurt inside me that was stopping me going forward. And Toastmasters was a platform where actually I could turn all those things into a little speech. And each time I gave a speech, I healed. And a lot of people that speak say you shouldn't use the stage for getting over your psychological problems. But the whole process of creating the speech helped me to understand the problems that I had, my limiting beliefs, the things that were holding me back, my speech impediment. And I went on to enter the competitions, just because they didn't have enough people at the club. And I ended up sort of winning and then going to the next level and winning and going to the next level and winning. And before I knew it, I was on the world stage in Las Vegas, you know, one of the only woman in the finals. Very few women have ever won the competition. And my final speech was about my speech impediment and about the journey I made along with a bear called Wadwick.
Hello, Wadwick.
Hi. And Wadwick was living at the speech therapist's clinic. And I looked at him, and I loved bears anyway, and I wanted to own him. And she said, you can own him when you can say his name, Roderick. So it took a lot of months before I could say his name, Roderick. And then Wadwick and I went home together. And the speech at the World Championship was about my journey to managing to speak and realizing that feeling inferior because of my speech impediment had actually held me back. And it had made me feel that everything in my life was broken. But in fact, just because I couldn't pronounce my R's, it didn't mean that I wasn't an amazing person with a lot to offer. So that was the journey. And I wrote a book about it, bing, which is not for sale. So this isn't, please buy my book, because you can't.
Okay, can I have a copy?
Oh gosh, you know, I've only got 20 left, but go on then, I'll send you a copy. And this
okay,
book
I got my Christmas present already. That's good.
Yeah, what you desire, Santa will bring you. So it's a story about Wadwick and going to the World Championship, and there's some photos in it, if you can see.
Excellent.
On stage. And I talk about how I'd always had a thing for bears. And there's a picture of me as a teenager or as a young lady doing things with bears, because I always loved bears. And in the book, it tells you why.
Oh, so that's very interesting. I'm curious already.
Secret. Yes, why bears became so important to me in my life. But the bottom line is, I went in for the World Championship. I didn't win, as you rightly said, because I was disqualified for being over time. But Darren LaCroix very kindly...
Too bad. We suffered because I was watching and we were, no, I was counting the time. No, Olivia, stop it. It was amazing, yeah.
As you can tell from this interview, once I get going, it's very difficult to stop me or get a word in edgeway.
I will stop you.
And so I went on to think, I love this. I don't want to go back to my ordinary job in TV. I love this. I want to do this. And so I gave everything up and realized that all my broken bits, they came into play as a speaker. This feeling of insecurity, this feeling of low self-value and low self-esteem, this feeling of not being perfect, this feeling of not being as good as other people. And having the stage skills of theatre and dance behind me meant that it was just a win-win. Me and public speaking, just love at first sight.
Yeah. You discover your true passion.
I discovered my true passion. I had purpose because I wanted to help other people to not be held back by what they believed they couldn't do, but instead look at it differently and say, what can I do with what I have? So I know that that is my story, the story, and now it is my passion, and I have purpose, and I absolutely love it. And now I am a successful professional speaker and trainer and executive coach. And I have a crazy life flying all over the world with no routine.
Yes, and you have founded your own queendom with your spectacular speakers, with the ladies and her champs around her. And tell us a little about the spectacular speakers group and how it started and what is the purpose and what are you doing?
I decided that I wanted to learn from the best. You know that expression, surround yourself with the top 5 people. You are the average of the top 5 people you hang out with. So on my way up this journey, I didn't know other speakers. I wasn't one of these people that had wanted to be a speaker for years and had watched all the talks and knew everything about it. I was like nobody, knew nothing. So I said in Toastmasters, who are the top people? And they said, well, these are the people that have gone through to the World Championships before. These are the people that are held in high esteem. And so I wrote to them all and I said, hey, who are you? How has your journey been? What are you doing now? And eventually I narrowed it down to about 5 speakers who I think are absolutely brilliant and top in their field and were also setting out like me and said, let's put on an event, all of us. We can all do like a 40-minute presentation. And that is how Spectacular Speaking started.
Excellent.
We come together once a year and we put on a 2-day training. A little bit of a plug here. I am selling tickets for that. December 6th and 7th, I think it is, or 5th and 6th. I can't remember.
Is that
exactly.
in Berlin, right?
Yeah, in Berlin. 2-day course, 4 amazing coaches. You'll get one-on-one, loads of stage time, and we will transform your speaking. So yeah, and every time we did it, I would get feedback from the audience and ask them, who was your favorite speaker? Who was your least favorite? And every time I drop a speaker, pick up a new one, drop a speaker, pick up a new one. And now I've just got the dream team and we do everything together. And we always challenge each other to bring new material. And if I need help, or I've got a speech and I can't find the tag, or I need to know how much to charge, I go to my team and throw it into the air. Hey guys, I need some assistance on this, and bang comes expert advice back. So surround yourself with great people who you admire, who you can learn from. That's key takeaway number 2.
Yeah, that's excellent. And I want to make a note on here, because you're talking about the public speaking, the stage, etc. And I am in the same business as you are, and we are colleagues. And what I see is sometimes people say, but I'm not interested on stage. I'm not a public speaker. I don't want to become one. But that's not really the point. The point here is that working on your communication is this healing process that you talked before. And I saw that happening as well during my All Summit event, when the speakers had to prepare their speech to share their story. They all, I received feedback from many of them saying how surprised they were that they had to go back and touch some keys that were not healed, and they had really to heal those keys before sharing their story. So they felt that that was a healing process, that when they came on stage, they were much more stronger and willing to share. And what I say is, even if your aim is not to be on stage, working on your communication really forces you in a way to look at the mirror and look at yourself and first think, how do I express myself? How people perceive me? And in that context, you have to understand where you're coming from and if your message is getting across the way you want. And when you manage that, it's powerful, because you build up your confidence from your own authenticity. So you become unstoppable. Right?
I mean, there's 2 things I want to say about that. One thing is I want to say is you are one of the people that are total inspirational to me, because I started ahead of you. But you, when I started the Vocal Women Network, you supported that. When I was coming out in Spectacular Speaking, you supported that. You were hungry, and you were one of the few women, or few people actually, that went on to say, I take something, I learn something from Olivia, I take it, I make my own thing, I know what I want. You came strong with your brand, Women in High Heels. You had fantastic visuals, you did animation, you said, this is me, baby. You didn't go, this is a copy of someone else, this is me trying to be like someone else. You said, this is me, and I am different, and I'm doing it my way. And you started your little meetings, what do they call those, when everyone gets together?
And the speakability talks, or you're talking about
the things you do in like Barcelona, the big events.
Oh, the All Summit.
The All Summit, exactly.
Summit, yeah.
You started the All Summit, and that was brilliant. Awesome, All Summit, excellent. And, you know, I know what it's like when you start an event. You start off with big ideas and very little money in your coffers, and your passion and your purpose keeps you going. And I have watched you go from strength to strength, build up your brand, build up your following, build up your events. And you are completely inspirational to me. I love to see women learning from others and going ahead and doing their thing. And as you say, we're colleagues, we're not in competition with each other. The world needs communication trainers all over, and there is plenty of work. So we are very different to, if you take the professional speakers organization, sometimes there's an atmosphere where they're in concurrence to each other. We do not have that. We all embrace each other, and so work each other's way, and want everybody else to do well. Because the more other people do well, the more the better communication is. The second thing I wanted to say is about communication. Many people that I work with, it's sort of different. They don't really share their personal stories in the way that we're talking about, like you would at Toastmasters. They're giving a presentation for work. They might be in a pharmaceutical company or something, and they need to talk about the work. The thing that they do, the mistake that they make, is they think they speak to inform, where we actually speak to inspire. So even if they say to me, yes, but I'm telling them about this thing. And I say to them, the details of the thing you're telling them about, if they are inspired, they will want to know. But if you don't inspire them, you can be telling them till you're blue in the face, and they can be on their mobile phone texting because they're really not interested. You've got to grab them and get them interested and get their attention. And then you can give them the information you need to give them. So we speak to inspire. And inspiring is also saying, what is your purpose? How you care, how it affects you. Putting in little stories. The stories don't have to be about you. They could be about something that happened in the office with someone else, but something that brings it to life and makes it authentic. Communication is absolutely crucial.
And as I say, it's all about your audience, because you have to understand your audience in the first place to be able to build the bridge of communication to reach them. It's really like understanding their language and then communicating on their language, because I fully agree with you. And a bullet points presentation, and it's amazing when some people, you meet people personally and they introduce themselves in a bullet point, and that's the worst. That's the worst. I give an example. I was once interviewing a young lady for the All Summit as a speaker. So we met for coffee, and then we were talking, and she was relaxed because I'm a relaxed. So then I think I let people to be relaxed, and she was relaxed, and we were chatting. And then when I said, okay, so, but tell me now, what exactly do you do? The whole transformation of someone relaxed, authentic, being herself, became rigid and start bullet point saying what she was doing. And I was really, really like, oh my goodness. And then I told her, that's awesome, but what do you like and why do you do that? And then she was a little bit confused, because then I felt that she didn't know if she could say her own opinion about what she was saying,
or she knew what it was.
Exactly.
No, I absolutely agree with you. No, I'm just cognizant of the time. I know we've only got about 5 minutes left. Authenticity and who you are. I mean, I'm known for my energy on stage. I'm known for being a big sort of stage performer, but I have enough clients that see that they don't want their people to be like me. And what I teach is not to be like me, it's to who are you, and let's see you. I was in Vienna yesterday working with a client there and getting them ready for their presentations. And one of them was talking about the audience, was telling the audience all sorts of background information. And I said, do the audience know this information? And he said, yes. I said, well, why are you telling us what we know? Because I know what you're telling me and I don't belong to your company. So what is new about what you're telling me? What is the angle? Where is it going? And at the very end, he had a little bit about where it was going, but most of the speech was what people knew. So I said, delete all that. We all know that. Okay. Be sure what your audience knows, and then tell them what you're going to be doing differently, how you're going to be doing a different twist.
But that's the challenge, Olivia. And because it's easier to go through the bullet points because it's safer, it's there. Everybody knows that already, exactly what you're saying. But then for me to bring with something new, I might create some polarization in the audience. I might create some situation in the audience. Am I ready to handle that? And that's the problem, is your speaking abilities come from your building your confidence. So once you're confident on who you are, and I remember I quote you because I don't know where you said that, and this for me, I use that in my trainings, darling. And because you said, someone mentioned to you once that you were too much on stage, that you use too much stage and gestures, the lady here as well.
And I said, an actor is an expert at being someone else. a
Yeah,
speaker,
but
an
no, what
expert
you
at being themselves.
that is one. But what I was going to say is you said, I am the same in my kitchen. And that for me was exactly, you are on stage who you are.
Yeah.
And but you're delivering different messages. But Olivia in her kitchen cooking, it's the Olivia on stage presenting to yourself, using the space, entertaining, laughing and cursing sometimes as well. But that's you.
I
And
remember
that's the
once I
important
spoke in
thing.
America, and they said to me on the feedback form, somebody said she was a bit blue. And I said, I didn't think I was sad, was I? And the woman said, no, they meant that you made a sort of sexual joke, and in America that doesn't go down very well. And I was like, oops. We're talking about you were going to have a sexy presenter. Here I am. But sometimes I need to be careful that I'm not overly
I
making
know.
sexual
It's kind of, we have to
innuendo. In England, sexual innuendo, yes, we all love it. It's funny. But in America, you've got to be careful. Before the program ends, I wanted to leave you with something. And that is to your viewers. And that is, don't follow the rules. Tulia has not followed the rules. I have not followed the rules. And I want to give you an example. This is my Advents calendar. This is window number 24. It had in it a chocolate teddy bear. The other day, I ate the chocolate teddy bear, and in its place, I put a different bear. And my friend said, you ate window number 24? Like, it's a sin. And I go, yeah, I make the rules. I break the rules. I ate number 24. So women, go out there. And if it means eating number 24, go and do it.
Go and do it. That's good. Give me 5. That's it. Thank you so much. It was so entertaining talking to you. And I hope we catch up again. And I want to be one day, I'm also a spectacular. Maybe I can be a spectacular with you as well, darling. So, so let's keep in touch. And I will put your information and about your training coming up. So give this to me, and let's see if you want.
Spectacularspeakers.com.
Okay, and let's see if one of my ladies gets excited to go to Berlin and enjoy the spectacular speakers. And I will definitely consider that. Thank you very much, Olivia. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much. And remember, women, yes, you can. Do it your way. Go for it. Be authentic. Be yourself. And be powerful.
And be bold.
Bold.
Bye for now, people. And here again, Speak Up and Lead Talks, your place for sexy and savvy conversation. Merry Christmas again. See you soon. Speak Up and Lead Academy is coming up. Join us and we will help you to find, own, and unleash your voice and to create the impact you want and should.